Hey there guys, what's up? It's AutoBotMike18 here with another TV episode review. Guys, we got one more episode to go, believe it or not. I can't get over how fast, the whole first half of the season has gone. Now already one episode, we have one episode left, and then that's it for the first half of the season. Anyway, guys, as you know, I'm going to be doing a review. It's Sunday, so you guys know what day it is. It's Walking Dead Sunday, and I just watched the most recent episode, guys. I actually got to watch it when it was aired tonight, as opposed to last week. I had to wait because I was late coming home, blah, blah, blah. Nevertheless, there's a lot of stuff to cover tonight, guys. A lot of stuff happened tonight. This episode is working as the setup episode for what we will hope will be a pretty decent mid-season finale. One that will not come even close to last season's mid-season finale. Too far gone. No way it's going to be that good. But there's a chance it could be as good as the Season 3 mid-season finale where the group storms Woodbury. So if it could be as good or better than that, I'll be happy. But anyway, guys, let's get into tonight's episode. Tonight's episode was Season 5, Episode 7, Consume was last week. Man, I can't remember the name of the episode. I'm going to have to look at my notes. Crossed. There we go. The name of the episode was Crossed. I think I see why they named the episode that. There's a few moments where, yeah, I get it. Anyway, guys, so yeah, that was tonight's episode. And like I said, we've the last couple episodes have been standalone episodes, really. Tonight's episode, we had like 4 different storylines at once. So, I know we were complaining about the standalone episodes, but it's just like they threw so much at us tonight. Anyway, in case you guys didn't know, by the way, spoilers, spoiler-heavy review, especially tonight's episode. There are a lot of things I wouldn't want spoiled for me. So what I'm going to do, guys, I've decided this is the only easy way to do this. I'm going to have to split each storyline into parts. I'm not going to discuss the episode in chronological order. I just can't. It'll be confusing. It'll be a mess all over the place. I can't even remember the episode in chronological order, to be honest. So I'm gonna have to split it into parts. So that's fine. You guys are cool with that. So we had 4 different storylines going on. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Beth and Carol at the hospital. The second one I'm going to discuss is Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, Rosita, Tara, and Eugene still in Atlanta or still in Georgia right after what happened in their last episode. Okay. Then I'm going to talk about Father Gabriel, Michonne, and Carl's storyline and Judith's. And then, of course, some of our core members on their mission to infiltrate the hospital. I'll talk about them last because they arguably had the most important one, and that is Rick, Daryl, Tyreese, Sasha, and Noah, who's now joined the group in order to help them free Carol and Beth. So let's get into the Carol and Beth subplot first off. So the episode starts off, and Carol is already has been wheeled into the hospital. She's already in her own room. And this isn't the start of the episode. The start of the storyline, however, Carol, as we all know, the end of episode 4, Carol was being wheeled in. Beth was about to kill that Dr. Gordon guy, whatever the hell his name is, and she didn't because she saw Carol. So you know that Beth knows Carol's there, and she wants to do something about it. The only thing is, Carol is actually dying from the car accident. She was apparently struck pretty bad. Now, from what I remember of last week's episode, it didn't look like she was hit that bad. She got hit pretty decent, but apparently she has internal bleeding or something, so I was a little wary on that, but I'll buy it. I'll buy it. Let's say it was but the car wasn't going that fast. That's why I didn't buy it. She did go flying when she got hit upon impact, but anyway, I'm not going to complain about that the whole review. So Beth's mission is to basically save Carol, because Dawn, well, not specifically Dawn, but some of the other residents of this Grady hospital, namely some of the other cops, want to pull Carol off of the the machines that are keeping her alive, because they feel it's pointless. She came into the hospital dead. The machines are just barely keeping her alive. Why should we waste power on her? She just came into this hospital. What are we doing? Pull her off the machines. If she lives, she lives. If she doesn't, she dies. And Beth immediately, without revealing that Carol was once in her group, because you don't want Beth to reveal that kind of information. You don't know what Dawn would think of her. You don't know what the other residents of that hospital would think of her. They could think that their group is still out there, which they are. Rick is coming to rescue them. So Beth is actually playing it cool, not letting them know that she knows Carol, and I like that. So she casually, without making it too obvious, pleads with Dawn to say, listen, and this other cop who's arguing, she's like, listen, you shouldn't pull her off the machine. She just got it. She deserves a fighting chance. Stop using your DVD player so much and use the machine for her. And Dawn, of course, at first doesn't side with Beth. However, when that other cop leaves, she gives Beth keys to a medicine cabinet where Beth can take out medicine, give it to Carol, which will keep her alive. They are going to pull Carol off the machines, but there's still a chance to keep Carol alive. Beth has to just give her medicine. So Dawn actually trusts Beth and reveals this. Now, we don't know if she's playing Beth. Some people may think she is. I don't, honestly. I think she really does believe in Beth. She even says it in the episode. I thought you were weak. She doesn't actually say, I'll trust you, but she basically does by giving Beth the keys. And Beth accepts this. So, that was something that surprised me, honestly, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think that the villain of this season, that she is our villain of the season, pretty much. I didn't think she was going to give up those keys and actually take Beth's side on this, secretively. So Beth goes to the doctor guy, Dr. Gordon, I think his name, I don't know. And she asks, what medicine do I get from the medicine cabinet to help out the woman in that room, woman in room 2? And the guy's like, did she give you the keys or did you take them? And, Beth doesn't actually respond to that. And she basically coerces, excuse me, the doctor to tell her what medicine to use on Carol, and then creating an awesome diversion. I love this scene. She gives a man, an older fat guy, 2 strawberries, and walks past them, goes into the medicine cabinet, and he pretends to choke. Not on the strawberries. She gave him the strawberries so he'd choke for her and create a distraction. There were a lot of distractions in this episode, by the way, guys. But I thought it was so funny. And she gets the medicine out of the cabinet successfully, walks past the fake choking guy, and as soon as she walks past, he stops choking. He's like, oh, I'm all right. It was so funny. It was so unintentionally funny. I loved it. It was great. And then she gets into Carol's room, gives Carol the medicine through like the tubes or whatever. And Carol, she holds Carol's hand. And I really like how Beth is like trying to save her. She's like, this was one of my members from my old group. I got to do my best to save her. And I really like that. I really want to see Beth and Carol make it out of there alive. And she was like holding her hand, trying to talk to her. Hopefully she'd wake up, but Carol doesn't wake up. Anyway, so that was Beth's storyline. I'm not going to say the least interesting. No, it wasn't the least interesting. There were a few tense moments here or there. A few things I weren't expecting, like with the diversion and Dawn siding with Beth. So I liked that. Dawn siding with Beth secretively. We just don't know if she bullshitting Beth or not. Is Dawn really aware of all this crap? We don't know. So the next story I'm going to get into is probably the least exciting of the 4 tonight, guys. It picks up, this is Glenn, Maggie, Eugene, Abraham, Rosita, and Tara. It picks up where they left off with Eugene telling them all the truth, that he's not a real scientist, blah, blah, blah. Abraham beats the shit out of him and goes off behind the fire truck, kneels down in tears, just completely pissed and nearly utterly shocked, pretty much. So the beginning of this episode, Eugene's still knocked out, so apparently Abraham did a number on him. He wailed on him. And then you gotta remember, Eugene not only hit the fire truck, but he fell down on the floor. So I think it was the combination of Abraham's strength and the fact that Eugene smashed his head against the floor. I think that's what did it. So the group is basically trying to revive him. They're literally in the middle of the road near that crossroads section or whatever, where all those zombies are. They're like hundreds of yards away. And Abraham is he's still kneeling down there. He's lost. He is pissed. He cannot believe the reality that Eugene has no cure to save the world. He that's it. DC's the plan to get to DC is over, and Abraham isn't too fond of this, so he lashes out a little bit in the beginning, and Glenn, Tara, and Rosita go off to like gather like water and shit, and eventually fish. Yeah, eventually they all catch. I'll just get that out of the way. That storyline. So kind of this one storyline kind of breaks into two. So technically there were like 5 storylines going on tonight. Little too much in my opinion, and I'll get into that later on. But yes, they go fishing. They catch fish. Nothing else really major happens. Rosita gets a little bit more character development, which I like. She sort of explains how she met Abraham and why she sort of like latched on him and stood with him and trusted him, because he actually admitted to her, I need you to help me with Eugene getting him to DC. And she really took that to heart. And I like how they're trying to build her up, even though it's taken way too long to build Rosita up. They should have done it already. I like it they're at least attempting to, so that's nice. And then Maggie stays with Abraham, and I love this moment in the episode. She goes to the back of the fire truck, pulls out the ladder, stands it up in front against the front of the fire truck, puts a sheet over it to shield. She shields Eugene from the sun, and I'm like, Maggie, what are you doing? Take that sheet off. Let him burn. He lied to you. Let him burn. Are you serious? I love it. And they cut to a wide shot of her like trying to talk to Abraham, and you see the ladder and the sheet sort of like moves a little bit. It was so funny. There were a lot of unintentionally funny moments on tonight's episode, guys. I gotta say, I actually really enjoyed myself tonight. You know, not only was the episode tense, it was action packed, it was thrilling, it was unintentionally funny. This was like a perfect combination for a Walking Dead episode. So anyway, Maggie tries to get through to Abraham, who's just in a trance, basically just completely in utter shock, and at the end kind of gets through to him, gets him to drink some water, blah blah blah. That's really it. Nothing, like I said, it wasn't of the major storylines that happened tonight. It wasn't one of the major ones. And then Glenn, Tara, and what's her face, Rosita come back with the fish and the water. So anyway, that's that storyline. Nothing huge. The third storyline is Father Gabriel, Michonne, and Carl. Now, first off, I have one major complaint already. They left Michonne in the church. I wasn't happy with that. I honestly felt Michonne hasn't been given much to do this season. I was really upset when she stood behind to watch Judith and Carl. Now, granted, I know that Sasha did go with, of the two women, Sasha went with Rick and the gang to go after Beth and Carol. I would have rather seen Michonne. I honestly care for Michonne more. However, I'm going to get into what happened with Sasha tonight, but they needed to develop Sasha and the whole fact that she needs to get over Bob. So that's why Sasha is tagging along with Rick and the gang. So, and you know what? It makes more sense anyway that Rick would leave Michonne with Carl and Judith, not Sasha. I mean, he knows Sasha fine enough, but he trusts Michonne a lot more. So they're sticking behind with Gabriel, and before Rick and the gang leave, they like fortify the church up, blah blah blah. And Gabriel is sort of like going through some near breakdown in this. Not a breakdown, but he's on edge pretty much. That's what I'm gonna say. At one point in that storyline, I honestly thought he was going to consider killing Judith, because there are several shots where Judith starts crying. You can hear her audibly crying, and he like looks over and he has like this blank look on his face, like not a look of anger or disgust or like a violent look on his face, just a blank look. I honestly thought he was going to consider killing Judith, maybe not in tonight's episode, but tomorrow night's episode, next week's episode, the mid-season finale. Let me know what you guys think about that. I don't know. I don't trust him too much. So basically, Carl sort of not enforces upon him, but insists upon him that he takes a machete and starts learning how to use it in order to defend himself. I think Gabriel is really still stunned by the church massacre that happened. He's like cleaning blood off the seats in the beginning of the episode. And at some point in the episode, he locks himself in his office. He does take the machete, still acting weird. And Michonne, like, sort of comes by and sort of, like, talks to him. And she's, like, glad that he took the machete, blah, blah, blah. And it cuts to him inside. He's creating an escape in his floorboards. He's cutting his floorboards open. I'm like, what is this guy planning on doing? So as he goes to the floorboards, I'm saying to myself, is he going to go outside, bring a horde of zombies to the church, like, open the door somehow? I don't know. And then, like, let Michonne and Carl be eaten, and Judith, and, like, take the church back for himself? I don't know. I had this whole thought the whole episode. He was sort of selfish. And, but anyhow, I was kind of wrong, yet I'm still predicting he's going to want to, or at least attempt to kill Judith, and Rick's going to take him out at some point, or someone's going to take him out. Maybe Carl. Carl hasn't killed anyone recently, except Jody. Anyway, so Gabriel gets out, but he doesn't bring the machete, of course. Goes stumbling through the woods, looks confused, looks just very confused. And he gets attacked by a walker. He literally picks up the walker and throws it on the ground. Picks up a rock, is about to smash the head in. Camera pans down, tilts down, and you see a cross necklace the walker's wearing. So he throws the rock aside, like, no, I'm not, I can't do it. So I kind of like where they're going with him. His character's sort of up in the air at this point. We don't know what he's thinking, what he's plotting, is in terms of a better word. And I like how he's still, like, Carl's even teaching him, like, this is how you kill Walker. Here, use this to kill Walker. You gotta get out of this phaser, and you gotta start killing walkers off. Come on, man. Don't be a wimp. And he's still conflicted. He still just can't bring himself to do it. Now, would he have killed that walker if she didn't have a cross on? I don't know. Maybe he would have, but I think seeing the cross sort of, like, reminded him, listen, you're a Christian man. Yes, the world has gone through some shit, but you can't do this. You can't kill her. It's still, that was once a person. So that's what I took of it. Anyway, so that was that storyline. All those storylines, more so or less, ended in cliffhangers. Not the Glenn and Maggie one. Gabriel sort of did. He, like, walks off after leaving the zombie behind. And Beth and Carol sort of did, because Carol, we don't know if Carol's going to make it or not. I mean, I think we can assume she will, but anyway. So, probably the biggest of the storylines tonight was definitely Rick and the gang, their quest to get Carol and Beth back. They're on the road to the hospital. Now, this storyline had one of the best scenes of the episode, and I think you guys know what I'm talking about. It involved Daryl and a zombie head. That's all I'm going to say. And it's arguably one of Daryl's best badass moments. Do I buy into it fully? No. But I liked it. I thought it was entertaining, I thought it was suspenseful, and I thought it was creative. But apart from that, I'll get into that big moment, of course. Rick and the gang hit the road after fortifying the prison. They basically show up in Atlanta, and I get that they don't have them, like, driving on the highway, entering Atlanta. They're literally just in a building in the next scene that they're in. And it's because there was so much going on tonight, they couldn't show everything. So they're creating different attack plans in order to infiltrate the hospital and get Beth and Carol out. Rick basically is still in danger mode. He just wants to take everybody out, get Beth and Carol out, and get the hell out of there. He devised this elaborate plan where he's going to take out some of the guards, some of the cops, some of the members, some of the residents if need be. And Tyreese and Daryl stand their ground and go against Rick's plan and say, why don't we just take someone hostage or something? Use a distraction. Use someone as a distraction. Take someone hostage. No one gets hurt. We take Carol and Beth out, and everyone walks away. And the camera lingers on Rick's face, and he's like, he doesn't make that face, but he's just standing there with this blank look on his face, staring at Daryl. You could tell he was in shock that the two of them are against his plan. At that point in the episode, it was like earlier on in the episode, I'm like, Rick still got a bloodlust, man. he just wants to kill everyone in sight. So awesome. Anyway, later on in the episode, they do end up going with Tyreese and Daryl's plan, and they use Noah as bait. Noah's running around this area near the hospital, I'm assuming. There are all these red brick buildings, and he's running around. He fires off a weapon, and a cop car is chasing him. They obviously belong to the Grady Hospital. They get out, they cuff him. Rick, Tyreese, Sasha, and Daryl show up, hold them up at gunpoint. Now, this scene was crazy, and I'll tell you guys why it was crazy. It was unexpected, and I like that. It was a little odd, this whole entire scene, but I rolled with it. I bought it, pretty much. They kidnapped two cops who cuffed Noah, and they cuffed the two of them. They free Noah, and they're going to use them as hostages to gain entrance into the hospital. One of the cops is Jasper Sitwell from Captain America: The Winter Soldier, the guy who played Jasper Sitwell. I thought that was pretty awesome. Took me a while to figure out who that was, actually. So yeah, he's sort of like reasoning. He was like, oh, he's talking to Rick. Jasper's talking to Rick, and he's like, come on, man, your voice, you sound like you used to be a cop. Come on, let's work something out here, blah, blah, blah. And then a car, and this was odd, car just bolts in, and gunfire erupts from both sides as the two handcuffed cops jump in the car speeds off. Rick, Daryl, Noah, Tyreese, and Sasha chase the car, and the car, they get into like this large alleyway. A whole bunch of charred walkers stuck to the ground, a broken down RV in the middle of everything, and the car is like stuck on like walker arms and guts and shit, and it's completely empty. So the group decides to pretty much split up. Not, well, they don't say that, but Daryl splits up from the rest of them as they go after the two fleeing cops who are handcuffed, one of them being Jasper Sitwell. And Daryl goes to investigate the RV. And gets attacked by one of this large burly cop, and they're wrestling on the ground. He starts to choke Daryl, and Daryl's like reaching around. Daryl's screwed. At first, I thought someone was going to come in and save him, of course, because it's Daryl. But I kind of underestimated Daryl. Daryl starts reaching around. There's one of those charred walkers stuck to the ground. The walker's still alive. Like, it's going like that, trying to bite Daryl's fingers. Daryl takes it by the neck. Rips the head off, takes it with one hand. You see all the blood and guts. It was so gory and pretty freaking awesome, even though it was complete bullshit. Whacks the burly cop in the head with it, gets him off him. Rick shows up and is about to kill the burly cop, but Daryl talks him out of it. He's like, no, we can use him. And cuts the commercial. Now that scene, was it bullshit? Yes. Was it freaking awesome? Was it one of Daryl's best moments on this whole entire show? Yeah. Do I believe that? I honestly think Daryl would have been choked out by the time he ripped the head off. I think it took too long for him to get the head. I mean, I understand why it took him so long to get that, but I think it took too long for him to get choked out to death. I think he would have been dead. That's my only flaw with that scene. Was it badass? Yes. Did I love it? Did Daryl Dixon fans probably love it? Yes. They're probably freaking out over Twitter. I haven't checked. So, Rick and the gang, they eventually they gather all the cops together, and they go into this like abandoned warehouse. They tie them up, and they devise a plan, and the cops, including Jasper Sitwell, gets in on this, and they tell Rick and the gang that they're going to try to reason with Dawn in order to avoid bloodshed, to avoid murder and all that. They're going to infiltrate the hospital. At first, I think their plan was to take Dawn out. Her cops were talking to Rick and the group and telling them, yeah, we'll take her out. We'll take care of her. And then I think they eventually decide to just rebel against Dawn and then just let Beth and Carol go. They'll have them go, and then each side will part ways. So I think that it was one of those two plans. I can't remember. That the entire group settles on for the most part. Meanwhile, the cops are tied up to these what do you call it? These pillars. There we go. And one of the cops tries to talk to Sasha. His name is Bob, and it's Jasper Sitwell. His character's name is Bob, of course. And Sasha, in this whole episode, I didn't get to talk about her. She's reeling from Bob's death. She can't handle the fact that she didn't kill him. She didn't have the guts to kill him. And Tyreese, the whole episode, is trying to calm her down. He's like, I've been through that place. Me and Karen, they went through the same thing. Both brother and sister went through the same thing, really. And he basically admits, yeah, I was vulnerable then too. It's all right. You don't have to worry about it. And then she breaks down a little bit when she rips Bob's jacket that she's wearing. Gets into all these things. Honestly, I thought that should have just been completely evaporated from the episode because there was so much going on. But anyway, the Jasper Sitwell cop tries to get to into Sasha's mind by telling her, listen, he tells her this whole story, and he's like, one of those charred walkers out there. They're in a warehouse, and the charred walkers are right outside. He's like, one of those walkers was one of my old cop buddies. You wanna snipe him for me? You wanna go kill him for me or whatever? He says, and she's like, I'm a pretty good shot. I'll take him out from here. So she lets him go from the pillar. He's still cuffed. They walk over to the window. She aims at the walker that he tells her to aim for, and he rams her into a window and runs out of the warehouse, and that's how the episode ends. So the whole episode is like, yeah, I got your back. Yeah, we're gonna take down Dawn. We're gonna get your people back to you. He's telling Rick this. Rick, the whole entire episode, twice he wanted to kill these group members, and now the group is going to pay for it because he got out of the warehouse. He's obviously going to run back to the hospital, tell Dawn what's coming for her, and they're going to expect it, and Rick's group is going to have to deal with a pretty serious gunfight, a pretty serious battle. And Sasha fell for it, and I knew something was going to happen. You got this peaceful music going on, and I'm like, something bad's going to happen. There's no way this story's true, and I was right. So anyway, guys, that was tonight's episode. My word, 25-minute long review that shows you how much happened tonight's episode, guys. See, that was the episode. A lot went on tonight, guys. With that being said, that's one of my only complaints, that so much was going on. I think the whole Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, Eugene thing could have just been cut out, and I also think the whole thing with Sasha could have been cut out and possibly saved for the mid-season finale. I just think there was too much going on. Either do that, or last week, or the week before for that matter, they should have had one of these storylines going on instead of having just a standalone episode with one storyline. Instead, tonight we had 4, and I know I've been complaining. I'm tired of standalone episodes. I want episodes with a lot of plot lines. I know I've been complaining about that, but I think there was too much. I think 2 or 3 would have been suffice. 4 and then even 5, I think they took it too far. With that said, I really enjoyed tonight's episode. I'm going to go pretty high. I'm going to go 9.25 out of 10. One of my favorite episodes of the season, actually. It was tension-riddled. The script was pretty damn good. I thought it was well shot. The score was great. Although they did have too many storylines, I was engaged in each and every one of them for the most part. Getting back to the script, it wasn't only serious, intense, and pretty action-packed in Rick's storyline. But it was also pretty funny. You know, there were a few hilarious moments that I actually enjoyed myself. Overall, I think tonight's episode, the best part about it was that there was such a high entertainment level. It's just why we watch The Walking Dead. So that was tonight's episode, guys. 9.25 out of 10. One of my favorite episodes of the season. And I might even go 9.5. I really, really liked it. We've got ourselves set up for a mid-season finale, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. Like I said, I'm leaving bets here. I don't think it's going to be as good as the, it's definitely not going to be as good as the mid-season 4 finale. With the prison war, no way. Is it even going to come close to that? Do I think it could have the potential to be better than the season 3 mid-season finale? If they play their cards right, if the episode is action-packed, tension-riddled, and someone major dies, I'll be pretty happy with it. So, guys, what do you think is going to happen next week? Leave your predictions down below. Do you think Gabriel is going to kill Judith? What are his motives? Do you think Dawn is really letting Beth do this? Is she playing Beth? What's going to happen? Is Carol going to survive? Are Rick and the group going to get the better of Dawn and her group? Let me know your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comments. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and sticking with me for this whole review. I'm so sorry it was so long. But again, so much happened tonight, a lot to cover. So, so I'll see you guys. Got a couple of videos coming for you this week, and I'll be reviewing the mid-season finale next week. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.